Let's see if he can handle this. And if he can, then we'll go ahead and try and saddle him. Sorry, I said we. Little thing I learned that from my wife. All this goofiness people are doing with their pronouns these days. My wife's been doing that for years. She'll look over at me and she'll say, we need to paint the house. And we need to fix the car. And you know who we is. So, okay, there we go. So if this works out, we will saddle this horse. Okay. All right. So the question is, can he handle this while he's moving? All right. Stand on my rope there. All right. So I'm going to get him moving out here. And I'm going to put just a pretty small amount of pressure on his belly. Probably just a pound or two. Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Now 3 or 4 pounds. Now 10 or 12. Okay, that's better than I expected. Good boy. Ooh. You know, again, I'm assuming, from what I've been told, this horse has been saddled dozens of times. And his neck is arched, his eyes are wide. You know. So, you know, you can tell that he's had this done, but you can also tell that he's not just like, yeah, whatever. He's on alert here. Okay, you see him take a step back? Don't ignore that stuff. That just tells you what he feels about all this. And there goes another step backwards. And another step backwards. And another step backwards. And another. And when he took 4 steps back, now he can lick his lips. So he had to get that much space between us before he could relax a little bit. Cocked his leg a little there. Okay. Another step back. One of the things, again, he's been saddled, but I'm pretending he hasn't. I'm just going to act like he's never been saddled, because I don't know if things have been skipped or not. And one of the things I want to be able to do is touch that horse all over with that saddle without him being bothered by it. I won't be able to lift it up without him being overly concerned about that. Touch him here. See, he flinched a little when I did. Wasn't too bad. Right there. He did. Okay, let's just see what we have here. I don't know if you can see him or not. I'm not sure if he's in the picture. But I hope by now, if you've watched this, you're kind of figuring out my system. I stress them out, then I let them relax. Then I stress them out, then I let them relax. And I'll do that up and down 20, 30 times in this session. There, he's licking his lips. And the reason I do it that way is because humans can do this too, and horses, they'll hold that tension in. And the best way I can illustrate that is, you know, if you've ever had a bad day where you wake up with a headache, and then, you get in a fight with your husband or your wife before you go to work. Then you're on your way to work and there's a traffic jam and everybody's hollering at everybody, and then you just this stuff just keeps adding up, and then you get to work and the boss starts chewing you out and you just lose it, and go off and start shooting up the workplace. I'm joking, of course, but it wasn't just one thing, it was everything added on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. Each thing by itself you could have handled fairly well. And so, same way with him, I'll give him something and I'll let him get over it, and then I'll give him something else and I'll let him get over it. I don't just stack them one on top of the other, because that's where, horses and people have a lot of problems. So he seems pretty good now. He seems to me like he's in a fairly good frame of mind, and I can probably cinch this saddle up. We'll see if I'm right. Okay. My wife will tell you I'm not always right. maybe most of the time. At least in predicting what they're going to do here. Okay. So here's how I do this. I think you can see the cinch. I'm going to stand back, and again, I don't think he's going to have a whole lot of trouble here. I'm going to pressure that, pull it up on his belly and release it. Pull it up and release it. And I'm 3 feet away, so if he blows up, I'm not in the path of anything. Okay. Yeah, he seems all right. Okay. So let's go ahead and cinch it up enough that it's going to stay on. Okay. And a lot of times the back cinch is what causes them to have problems. And so I want the back cinch tight, at least on this first day. The reason is, I did a video about 6 months ago with a young Palomino colt, and he bucked pretty hard on the first saddling. And the reason he bucked, and I should have been aware of it, and I just didn't notice it. Like I say, I'm not always right. The back cinch wouldn't tighten up. He was kind of a small barreled colt. And so when he started moving, the back cinch was thumping his belly like that when he started moving, and he got pretty upset about that. I guess I didn't blame him. And we'll try to avoid that here. Okay. Now, when I send him off, I'm going to try not to be in front of him. Okay, good. Good. His head's down, he's licking his lips. So once I got the saddle on there, he's fine. Isn't that interesting? Did I make too big a deal of all that flinching with the rope around his belly? Possibly, I hope so. Ooh. Although, did you see him walk away for side step away from me there? Okay. Don't ignore that stuff. It means something. What does it mean? It means he's afraid of me. That's all it means. Okay, now we got it pretty tight. Okay, that's pretty tight. All right. Now let's send him off and see what happens. Okay, so he's really tense. He's not blowing up or anything, but his whole body is just like a tight rubber band. So how do I get him over that? Just do this for about several hours. Not every day, I mean not all at once, but I'll just do this and work him until he seems like he understands it's not going to hurt him. Okay. All right, now, I mean, he's tense and bothered, but he's not humping up. And again, he knows to come into me and get a little bit of a release. Now I'm just going to take the lead rope off and send him around here. I might give you a nickname, buddy. Okay, there he yawned and licked his lips and shook his head and snorted. All of those are relaxing signs. And he's yawning again. So he's just telling me that he got really stressed out by what I did in the last 10 minutes. And now he's kind of can get over it. If a horse can get over it, I feel pretty good about their future.